if you refresh your basics from the material which you get from this PIB training, the interview helps a lot. But I would also advise the participants or whoever is looking for a BA role, you can see how you can leverage AI in your day-to-day process. So you can automate few tasks, you can automate your MOM meetings, you can translate the recordings into the language of your sponsor and send it to him so that it's more convenient to them. So the tools that are available to the market, I would advise people to leverage on them and increase your productivity and not to worry about replacing your role. So learn AI and use the tools to your advantage. And if you have knowledge and if you are good at your work, no one can replace you.
Hello everyone, this is Shweta and I'm delighted to welcome you all to yet another episode of Alumni Chronicles from PIBA. Today we have Krishna Kiran with us, who is currently excelling as a Payments Business Analyst at Societe Generale. So Krishna has an incredible story to share about his journey into dynamic world of payments business analysis. From navigating his challenges to achieving milestones, his experiences is sure to inspire and provide valuable insights for all the aspiring BAs. I would say the aspiring payments BAs more. Without a further ado, let's dive in and hear all about Krishna's journey, lessons, and the successes. So I welcome you, Krishna, to PIBA Chronicles. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Sweta. Thanks for the good introduction. I'm happy to stay.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, let's begin with your introduction and then we'll take it forward from there.
Sure. I started my career in banking and finance domain itself. I started my job with Kotak Mahindra Bank initially. I was into branch banking and later transitioned into IT.
Okay.
And initially in the IT sector as well, I was a testing team. I was into testing team, and later I've progressed as a business analyst into payments.
Oh, all right. So you started off your career as a tester in
Yes,
the
yes,
field and then moved
yes,
to
yes.
business analyst. That's interesting. So what motivated you to make this transition from testing to business analyst role?
Eventually, even working with clients in the banking sector as well, I used to network more. I like talking to people and all. So when I was first of all introduced into testing, I felt somewhat isolated. But I used to see my how my BAs are doing parallel to me when I used to go to them with my test case results or any of the topics that I wanted to. I used to hear their daily routine and I used to get a lot of interest in that. So the way they used to talk to stakeholders, stakeholder management, documentation process, the way a business analyst role happens throughout the project, right from starting to ending. So that used to keep me a lot of, I was interested a lot. That's the reason I wanted to shift from testing to that business analyst role.
Okay, interesting. That was interesting to know. So you are into payments of the banking domain, right? So can you shed some light on how payments is different from the core banking? What are the nitty-gritties of the payments domain?
Okay, to tell you about the differences between how a banking BA and how a payments BA is. In banking, generally, you only see how a payment goes from point A to point B. So even if it's a single payment or if it's a payment that you need to bulk and send it across, you only understand how a payment goes from payment A to payment B. But
Hmm.
when you work as a payments business analyst, you understand what are the payments what are the checks that a payment has to go through and how a payment is evolved over time. So how a payment engine works, what are the checks the payment has to go through, what if the payment is failed, what is the process flow for that, what is the payment is successful, what is the process flow for that, and before a successful completion of a payment, what happens inside a payment engine, and what happens after completely successful of a payment, what is the accounting that is done on that, what is the reporting that is done on that. So you completely explore a payment if you are a payments business analyst. But if you are a banking side business analyst, you only understand the software and you only understand that a payment goes from point A to point B. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So thanks for sharing those details on the payment sector of the banking domain. I would also like to understand, like if somebody who is a banker and who also wants to transition into a banking business analyst, but his interest is in payments as well. So how easy it is for him to make that switch from banking to payments?
Generally, I would say a banking business analyst is well versed with the knowledge that he wants to have because he understands what's a bank, what is a bank does, and he also partially understands how the payment works as well. The only thing he needs to improve on, what are he has to deep down into the payment. What are the checks done on a payment, like a duplicate check, or if it is there any other check that happens on a payment, and also the country that he's aiming for. So, if a payments business analyst, payments happen across the world. So
Right.
if you take my example, I work for European payments. So if you want to work in European payments, you need to know how a European payment works. If you want
Okay.
to work in India payment side, you need to know how RTGS works, how an NEFT works, how UPI works. So how the UPI payment works. So how come and now people are into instant mode. Everything is instant. So how classical payment works, how an instant payment works. What is the difference between a classical payment and instant payment? Why money people are able to get money instantly and why it
Right.
is not the same case earlier.
Uh,
So that differentiates between a normal bank and a payments analyst. So I would say if you understand how a payment works and if you're already a banking business analyst, it's quite easy for you to transition your role.
and how about someone is not coming from a banking domain, but is a
Mhm.
business analyst and wants to transition into payments business analyst? So, what should be the
Mm.
approach for him?
First of all, understand about a bank, how a bank works, how a bank gets clients, and how a bank once a bank gets a client, how the bank, I mean, the customer initiate a payment in the bank. There are a manual mode of initiating a payment. There is an electronic mode of initiating a payment. And once the payment is initiated, what a typical bank guy does, how he inputs the transaction input into the system. If he
Right.
knows all these basics, and with these basics in hand, learning about the payment flow is not a big task.
Okay.
So someone who is new to, I mean, someone who is from the insurance domain or someone from the healthcare domain or any other domain which is not linked to the banking domain. First of all, if he understands what's a bank, what a bank does, and how it acquires clients and how the clients' payments are processed, then he should be able to do well in any of the banking business analysts.
Okay. You mean you have if someone needs to have the basics of banking first and then about somewhat about payments so that
Yes,
he can
yes.
listen properly. Okay. Moving ahead, I would also like to understand, I mean, when it comes to payments domain, right? Like you shared how a banker can transition into payments and how BA from other domain can transition. What do you suggest? I mean, is there any certification important for that, or what should be the approach to gain that domain knowledge, basically?
So domain knowledge as a business analyst or in the payment side, you're asking?
Payment side.
For the payments business analyst, I would suggest reading blogs which are available on the internet will help you understand the interview questions that are happening. Many BAs now are writing articles on LinkedIn about their interview process, what are the questions being asked, and what are the answers to that. Read them thoroughly. Give 2 3 rounds of interviews for a company. Understand the market expectations. Then you're all set to give an interview for a payments business analyst.
So
Reading
basic.
helps you a lot. Yeah.
Okay, okay, understood. So basically, even to crack the interview, some sort of understanding of this domain is important. So there
Yes,
should.
yes. To crack the interview and to start with your project, a basic understanding is required. And
Right.
once you join on the job, you can learn a lot.
Okay. All right. That was good to know. I mean, whatever details you shared across the payments, it is surely going to help someone who wants to transition to this particular domain or who completely want to transition from some other role to payments business analyst. So thank you for sharing those details. Now moving ahead to your transition journey from testing to business analyst, right? Although you mentioned that you were not satisfied with the role of a
Mhm.
tester and you wanted to communicate and be in the role of business analyst, but even someone who is transitioning from testing or dev or any other role to a business analyst, what do you think, what should be the approach towards it?
Okay. For a person, majorly you should be the role that you're expecting should align to your interests. So mainly my interest is into networking and communication. So I very well understood at that time itself that BA role will suit me. So if you are also interested in talking to people, understanding people, it should be emotionally also, and you should have a lot of patience. You should have a lot of patience to answer client questions first of all, because
Right.
you prepare well with 10 set of questions, and there'll be 11th question that will come to you.
Right.
You should be able to take that insult. You should be able to take that. So you should keep your ego aside. You should be able to say sorry.
I think you
And
should be a good listener as
yeah,
well.
yeah, you should be a very good listener, and you
Yeah.
should be able to summarize everything well at the end. So yeah, yeah. One trait is to have a good listening skill, and the other thing is you need to summarize a lot. Everything, whatever you hear, you need to summarize a lot. You need to be able to send minutes of meeting. You should be able to prepare for a meeting and answer all the clients' questions. So, end of the day, I would say the main root cause or the main job of the business analyst is to make sure that the business needs are met. So if you
Yeah.
are able to do that well, even if you're taking some time initially, but if you're able to do that well, your stakeholder will be happy and you will
Yeah.
be able to get good business out of him. So I would
Correct.
say any person who's willing to do a transition from any of the role that he's doing to a business analyst role, you be a good listener, you have a good patience, and domain knowledge and all will automatically come to you.
Yeah. So there has to be some self realization and retrospective, I believe, to understand if they want to be in this role. Because here,
Yes,
in
yes,
as you mentioned, right, it's more of communication and networking. You
yes, yes.
front front foot always. You're not just sitting behind the laptop and coding
Yeah, yeah.
or testing or something like that.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you so much for sharing that. Also, to go ahead with the same question, I want to understand in the banking domain how crucial the BA role is as per
Mhm.
my understanding and experience up till now.
Okay. So I would say a business analyst plays a very crucial role. It may be in any of the project. Business analyst plays a major role because first of all, he should be well aware of what he wants to do and what is the business need exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that need he has to understand first and he has to capture that. And
Correct.
then he has to communicate it to others.
Yeah.
So, a business analyst plays a very crucial role. Anyone from the product side will come to you. Anybody from the development side will come to you. Anybody from the testing side also will come to you only with their questions, and you need to patiently note down all the questions. Go back to the stakeholder. I mean, if you know the answer already, well and good. Again, you have to go back to the stakeholder. You have to request their time again. If they are a sponsor to your project, again you have to be very careful in that. So you first of all, that's the and you need to go back to your stakeholder, gather the responses, and you need to give it to them. So first of all, I would say the business analyst plays a very crucial role because he acts as a bridge between all the teams. So
Correct.
and that is the reason a business analyst role can never be automated, I would say. In this fast paced world, you need to be emotionally well and you need to be emotionally connected to all the people in the project. That
Yes.
happens only when you're a human being, and that's the reason you can't be replaced. So I
Yeah.
would say he plays a very crucial role in the project, unless until it's not a small project where people can manage on their own. But if it's a large scale project, I would say BA plays a very crucial role.
Interesting. I mean, thank you for sharing how a BA is actually playing a role of bridge between different teams, and how important BA role is for the collaboration of teams. So, moving ahead, once you decided for this transition from testing to BA, how did that journey start? I mean, like how you came across PIBA, what
Mhm.
research you were doing during that time. I want to know more about that.
So, like everybody else, it started with a confusion whether do I need to transition or do I need to continue? Or if I continue, what are the pros and cons? Or if I shift, what are the pros and cons? Because testing, I was already a year into it. I know something about testing. I know something, I mean, how to do testing. I was fine. But if I change into a new role again, how it will be? How do I understand the business role, analyst role better? Because what I assume from outside is what not exactly what a BA does inside the project. So so that is also there. So like everybody, I was in a confused state earlier. I used to Google a lot. What are the requirements for a business analyst? First of all, like you asked, do I need to do a certification? What is the cost of the certification? Will I get a second chance if I fail in the first attempt? So all these questions were coming into my mind. So blogs written by the existing business analysts helped a lot to understand what exactly that business analyst do in a project. So initially I was thinking, okay, I need to talk to someone, I need to put that on a paper, I need to send that for approval. Okay, I can do it. But later I understood that it's not the case. There is a lot of things that are involved. So then I started Googling it, reading So as a part of that, I was scrolling LinkedIn for a few weeks, and one week, luckily, I came across Divanshu. So Divanshu every week does a giveaway kind of thing. So he connects with people. He asks what are their questions about business analysis, and he helps them,
Yeah,
and he
right.
puts their that conversation in LinkedIn.
Yeah,
So I came across that one day, and at the end of that post, he mentioned that he also conducts classes on that.
yeah,
So I messaged him, and he initially told, if you like my classes only, you join. So I'll give you a trial. So then I told, that's very good. Nobody is doing that right now. Even in the recorded sessions, nobody is doing that now. So I attended his first class. I was very much interested the way he takes the sessions, because nowadays human interaction is very less. It's only one way communication wherever you take a course or
right.
something. Either it will be recording, or if it's human as well, it's only one way. They teach you something, later on they'll give you a Google form, they'll tell you to write your questions and all. But Deepanshu is not doing in that way. He makes you to interact with him. He makes
Yeah,
you to interact with other people also in the forum. So I
yes.
liked him. Initially, after the first session, I messaged him and I confirmed my booking, and that's how my journey started with PIBA.
Interesting. I mean, that was interesting to know how it started with Divanshu and PIBA. And while
Mm.
sharing the journey, right, you also highlighted that how he is helping you to communicate with the other candidates also in the forum, and the sessions are interactive. Like, I'm not comparing, but if a session is having more than 100 students or something like that, then it becomes very one way. That you also
Yes,
highlighted,
yes.
right? And
Mm.
if it is limited to 30 to 40 candidates, then there is a lot of scope of interaction. And
Yes,
that,
yes.
as you also highlighted, I also believe that this is the plus of this particular session, where
Yes,
you
yes.
get a proper doubt clearing session also. And
Mm.
you can come up with as many questions and as possible, and like get all your doubts cleared before moving ahead to the next topic.
Yes,
So
yes. I would like to also add what you said to what I said. The exercises that happen in the class also happen live, and
yeah,
also whatever the feedback that he wants to give you, he'll not cut you in between.
correct.
Even though it is time is getting lapsed, we remember an activity and we were doing it for 40 minutes. Initially, he mentioned in the comment section that we have breached the time, and we have only 2 minutes. 2 minutes went to 40 minutes, so he has not disturbed us. He let it happen, and then he gave a feedback, and he also mentioned that in corporate it will not happen like that.
Yeah,
People will judge you basis on this. So in
correct.
corporates you need to be careful.
Yeah.
So even feedback of that kind will be given to you in these sessions.
Yeah, I mean, yes, and for this, right, as you highlighted, he is focusing more on quality. So I think this comes with this 2 minutes to 40 minutes thing. So he's focusing on quality, he's trying to prepare the candidates in a certain way so that they are not only able to crack the interview, but also play a very important role once they are into the BA roles and
Yes,
responsibilities,
yes.
right? So that's good to hear. Moving ahead, I also, you already covered about the exercises and all, but I still want to understand how does the hands-on assignments and the hands-on experience on the BA tools helped you, maybe during your interviews and also after your interview currently with the role you have playing with Society General, right? So how is that helping you? Yeah.
So initially, the course is structured in a way that first of all, he'll give you an understanding of what exactly the topic we were gonna discuss.
Hmm.
And if the topic is completely theoretical, yes, he'll explain us the topic, and he makes one of the candidate to read the topic first of all, to engage the participants. Even that happens very naturally in the class. You will not feel that you're the one chosen or something. You will be randomly picked. Yeah,
Also,
so so it will
yeah.
be randomly picked, and you will be reading that, and after you someone else will be reading that. So people also will be engaged. If next is my number, I have to be ready, so I have to be attentive. So that also happens in the class. So if it's completely theoretical, yes, it will be read and it will be explained to you, and based on that, again, there will be an exercise based on that, and people will be divided into groups. They'll be made to participate in the exercise, and again he'll discuss on the answers. So one of the exercise which helped me while cracking an interview is how do you prioritize your requirement? And
Mhm.
that prioritization exercise we have done live in the class. See, prioritization not only helps you in your project, it also helps you in your life. So, what to prioritize first and what to prioritize late. So that if something is not so important, you can move it to next day or you can move it to next sprint. So that really helps in your life also. It'll help in your project as well. That is taught live in the class. So there is a mechanism called ranking the requirements, and also there is a matrix for that, RACI matrix, and all we do, and SWOT analysis that we do. All that we have done live in the class. So that was the question which was asked to me in the interview as well. How do you prioritize your requirement? I was able to answer that efficiently. So that exercises like this will also help you to participate and to engage in your course also. It will also help you in interviews as
Awesome. And I also want to know how about the post PIBA assignment helped you
well. Mhm.
condense everything that you have been through the class, right? Starting from the first session to the end of the session. So that
Mhm.
document that you prepare, it covers all of that. So how does that help you during your interview?
One apart from these exercises, you'll also be taught on some of the tools that you might use, the UA and UX tools, on how to build the prototypes for your projects and all. So the and also the material will be given to you. That material also helps a lot. So if you refresh your basics from that material which you get from this PIB training, the interview helps a lot. So a lot of myths. I used to have a lot of myths. Like I mentioned it to you that I only talk to people, put that on a paper, send it for approval. So that has gone after attending. And he mentioned that I don't know somehow how he read our minds. He told that if you think that you only speak to people, you put on a paper or you prepare a PPT, no, that's not how it works. You should be doing a lot of stuff. So initially, he made us prepared like how a BA role will be, how you should be also mentally fit to fit in the role. That really helps even after going to corporate. You will be remembering these classes while working on your project as well because even though there is, yes, you need to speak to people and document it, there is also a review process. You need to be open to feedback. You need to be open to feedback at any point of time. Even though your internal team is approving it, once it goes to the sponsor may give you again a lot of questions in that. We might think sponsor is only a person who gives you money so that it is done. No, no, no. He'll be more knowledgeable than you. He'll have experts who are more knowledgeable than you. So you should always be open to feedback. And how you should be open to feedback is taught in these sessions. So not only physically but mentally you will be prepared so that once you join a project, you should not face any issues once you face the project. So that preparation happens when you actively participate in this PIP training.
As well as the post PIBA assignment.
Yeah, of course. Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So we are towards the end of this session. As you mentioned in our first interaction only, right? This role, BA role, is very crucial, and there is a lot of empathy involved in it, and nobody there is a need of human for this particular role. It cannot be replaced. It cannot be automated. So keeping that in mind, I would like to understand your maybe along with the experience that you bring in up till now, whatever is happening currently in the market, right, with regards to AI. How do you think the BA role is going to evolve with respect to AI? Sorry.
Okay. So, first of all, there is no need to panic. I mean, I would advise, I mean, even I was there in that phase and I will be in that phase because there will be a doubt going forward for everybody. But as far as with my experience as a business analyst, there needs to be a human touch because you need to emotionally act sometimes. You need to act with intelligence sometimes. And people can't keep only doing some text-based searches to fulfill a BA role.
Correct.
So I think so BA role will be there, but I also advise the participants or whoever is looking for a BA role, you can see how you can leverage AI in your day-to-day process. So you can automate few tasks, you can automate your MOM meetings, you can translate the recordings into the language of your sponsor and send it to him so that it's more convenient to them. So the tools that are available to the market, I would advise people to leverage on them and increase your productivity and not to worry about replacing your role. So learn AI and use the tools to your advantage. And if you have knowledge and if you are good at your work, no one can replace you.
Awesome. So you highlighted it properly that you have to use AI as your advantage, and it should be as your assistant maybe, and you need not worry about your the replacement. Since a BA role brings in a lot of empathy and emotional, and there is a interaction and conversation going on. There is collaboration also happening all the way around. So
Yes,
AI cannot replace, or any maybe even if we move ahead with this technology, the robots cannot replace that. Thanks for highlighting this, because maybe there is a panic around now, not only with regards to BA, with regards to each and every role that is there,
yes,
not even only in the IT, but everywhere, in every sector,
yes.
I
Every
believe.
sector.
Yeah, it's just that we have to keep ourselves up to date with the new tools and technologies that are coming in, so that we are better prepared for the futures.
Huge. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Krishna, for sharing all those details and making time for this conversation today. It was nice talking to you. You highlighted a lot of points with regards to payments domain, banking also, and definitely about the BA role. And you covered a lot of things about PIBA also. So this is definitely going to help whoever is watching this. And I wish you all the best for your career. Uh, Good luck with Society General as well. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Sweta. And to everyone who wants to join PIPA training, I would advise them not to have any second thought. You will get your real life experience here. Working on the project will not be different while attending this course, and it will help you a lot. Trust the process, and you will be there one day. Thank you.
Thanks, Krishna. Thank you so much for highlighting that again. Thank you.
Thank you.